guys, we're here. Welcome back to the bench. Today we're going to be doing a review on the second of two US Optics red dot sights for pistols, and that is the MCRS. The MCRS is their more expensive offering at $580. Features include a 4 MOA dot, auto brightness adjustment, and it never turns off. Let's go ahead and hit the bench. We'll go over some specifics, and then we'll head back up here for a recap. Okay guys, now that I got you on the bench, we can go a little bit more in-depth on the US Optics MCRS. So as you can see, the MCRS is very similar to a shield in its overall footprint, and it actually does share the shield footprint, as well as the lightning on the gussets here on the side, and it's very, very low profile. This thing is so low profile that on a CZ-P10C, running a CZ custom optics plate, you can actually co-witness with the stock CZ-P10F sights. That's pretty cool, and that has got to be probably my favorite part of this optic, is how low it rides. Now, there are some drawbacks to that. Obviously, we've got a bottom feed battery on here, which requires removal of the optic every time you want to change it. And since the optic does not have an off feature, it is constantly on, and battery life is probably not going to be what it would be with other optics. My best guess with this particular optic, I've had this on here for about a month and a half, and my best guess would be that you're going to probably see 6 months to a year's worth of battery life on here. Unfortunately, I won't have it on here long enough to substantiate that because I got to get to other stuff, but that would be my guess. So as far as other design options here, the glass is the second favorite part on all of these US Optics components. The glass on these is ultra clear. There is very little tinting, and there's almost no shift around the outside. You can see the dot there in the middle. The bloom that you're seeing on the dot is just the camera. It's a significantly tighter dot than that in real life, and much smaller. Much smaller than that. It is a 4 MOA dot. But the glass is relatively tall. It is a narrow sight. Actually, the exact width of my CZ custom plate here on my P10F. The elevation adjustment is right here, and the windage adjustment is over on this side, and those are both done with a very small Allen wrench and a special dial that once fit in, you turn it the direction of the dial and just keep an eye on approximately how far you move it, and that tells you about how much you're actually adjusting the sight. I've got at least 500 rounds through this, and the zero has never changed. We've never had to adjust it, and it's been through like 2 or 3 of us now, and it's held a steady 0. Now let's go ahead and pop this thing off, and I'll show you a couple other features on it. I'm taking it off because we are getting ready to swap this off for another optic. So let's go ahead and pull this off. I can show you the underside of it, how the battery goes in, and then we'll pop it back up top for a usage review. So in order to remove it, they do include the Allen wrench for that. It's actually a hefty size Allen wrench, maybe 1/8 inch or so. So let's go ahead and pop the screws off. And we are using a CZ Custom plate here. Thank you, CZ Custom, for... They didn't give it to me, but they did sell it to me at a discounted price. Okay, and with those screws off, the optic should just pop right off. It was not tight on there, not like the DRS was. I really had to wiggle the DRS on there. I actually had to shave these down to get it on there. And I think that's part of the thing that I dislike about it, is the mounting. I don't feel like the lug cups were deep enough to truly mount on this plate. And I don't think it's the plate's fault. I don't think CZ Custom would do that. I think that the lug mounts, which are right here, are just not deep enough. I don't think they are to spec of what the mounting plate should be. So here you can see the bottom of it. You can see we've got some rubber inserts here, and what those do is those actually keep that battery in place so it doesn't wiggle around too much. They'll keep the vibration down so that your battery doesn't get worn out. And that's it. There's no other sealing on the bottom of this. It's just that. So you're relying on pure metal sealing around here to be able to keep that battery nice and clear from any water ingress that you might get in there. So again, the optic is well made. It's kind of dirty right now because I did use it. And the glass is nice and clear, so let's go ahead and go up top for a usage report. So now that you've gotten a closer look at the MCRS, let me tell you a little bit about the use of it. The auto adjustment on the MCRS is pretty quick, actually. Going from concealment up to a full draw, you really don't notice a whole lot of lag. In the amount of time that it takes you to actually draw the pistol and press it out, it has adjusted the light setting. Now, that being said, being auto-adjusting, you do get into a little bit of problems when you're in dark shooting into light. One point where that would be a problem is with a weapon-mounted light. I did test this out with my PL2 from Olight. That thing puts out like 1200 lumens or something like that, and it does wash the dot out a little bit. The time that I really noticed it the most, not as much as on the DRS, but in competition, in use. When you have this thing out in full sunlight, even this highest setting on this sight is not quite bright enough to be readily visible in full sunlight. It does take a little bit more focus than I would like to be able to find that dot in full sunlight. And whatever dot I use, I want to be able to see in full sunlight without straining my eyes. So, conclusions. The MCRS is a pretty quality light. I never had any issues with it. It always functioned, the dot was always on, and the auto brightness did always adjust properly. When I was outside in the light, it adjusted as bright as it could go. When I was inside in the dark, it didn't get any bloom. And the auto adjustment is quick. It's definitely a nice looking sight. US Optics put some unique styling cues on their optics that they came out with. Now, the downside. At $580, is this dot worth it? And I have to say, no, it's not. For essentially what is basically a shield, paying an extra $180-ish is just a little bit insane to me. Especially when on the market there are much more durable sights like the RMR for $200 less. You've got the Holosun 507C, which we are getting ready to test, for $300 less. The MCRS is just not worth the price that they're asking. It's a decent little sight. It's not a bad carry option. It's not going to be as sturdy as some of the other sights. Obviously, I didn't drop this. It handled recoil really well, but I don't drop these because I pay out of pocket for these and they are expensive. I do need to say I did not pay full price for this. I actually used my DRS as a turn-in to get a little bit of credit on this, and then they did give me vendor discounts on this. But even then, you know, $580 is not a good price for this dot. Not when you can get a shield for $180 less, when you can get an RMR for $200 less. It's just not a realistic entry into the market. It's asking too much for too little compared to what everything else is out there. So that's it, guys. That is the review of the US Optics MCRS, the little red dot that wishes it could. If you found this video useful, go ahead and like and subscribe down below. If you like what we do here on the channel and you want to help us out a little bit, go ahead and visit our Patreon link. That is patreon.com/WorkTheTrigger. Remember, guys, I appreciate every one of you, and until next time, do your research, get informed, and get to work.